Hi, everyone. Welcome to Power Talk Tuesday, guys. I will be talking about the power of having a plan. We are going into 2020. I don't know about you guys, but 2020, I am so glad to see this year go, but I'm also grateful for the lessons that I learned in 2020. So even though if 2020 was a difficult year for you, I want you to take a moment and look back over the year and thank God for the things that He did do. Thank God for the things that you did accomplish, even though it was a difficult year. So going into 2021, I want to make sure that everyone understands that it is important to have a plan going into the next year. Okay. Just saying that you want to do something or having a dream or saying that you want to have that you have a goal or you have a New Year's resolution, that's all gravy, that's all good, but you need to have a plan on how you are going to get where you're trying to go. So if I wanted to become a doctor, which I'm becoming a psychologist, but if I wanted to actually become a doctor, I need to take the time to see what steps I need to take in order to get to where I'm trying to go. I'm going to have to go to school. I'm going to have to get a bachelor's degree. I'm going to have to get a master's degree. I'm going to have to go to medical school. I'm going to have to do some things that will align me with where I am trying to go when it comes to my goal. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about today. And I'm going to give you a couple of scriptures. I'm not really basing this on a specific scripture today. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm just going to be for 30 minutes, give you guys a quick power talk for 30 minutes. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I know some of you guys probably are at work, so I'm going to get this really, really quickly and talk to you guys about the power of having a plan. I'm a business owner, and I know a lot of you guys are business owners as well. So in order for you to be successful in your business, you have to have a plan. You can't just open a business and say, okay, I'm going to start selling clothes. Okay, I'm going to start selling jewelry, and you don't have a plan on how you're going to get your product to your customers. So it's the same thing in marriage. It's the same thing in business. Like I said, it's the same thing with anything that you plan on doing anything that you want to do in your life. You have to have a plan on how you get there. Some of you want children. Well, in order to have a child, you're going to need a male. You're going to either need a physical male, or you're going to need what the male has. But you're going to need something from a male in order for you to have a child. So you need to have a plan on how you're going to be able to have a child. So that's why it's important that you guys have a plan. So the power of a plan is what I'm talking about today. And what is a plan? A plan is typically any diagram or a list of steps detailing of times and resources used to achieve an objective to do something. A detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. So a plan is a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. So if you are wanting to do something or achieve something, you are going to have a detailed proposal on how you plan on getting to where you're trying to go. Planning is the fundamental function which involves deciding beforehand what is to be done, when it is to be done, and how it's supposed to be done, and who is going to do that. So I want to stop right there, because I'm a Christian marriage counselor. So I counsel marriage, people that are getting married. I counsel people that are married. I even counsel people that are unfortunately coming out of their marriage. But I counsel wives, all kinds of people are revolving around marriage. So the one thing I ask my premarital couples is, what is your plan? What are you planning? Why are you getting married? What is the reasoning for you two coming together? Because some of you're getting married just because he fine, or just because he pay a bill, or just because you feel good at the time. But what really is the purpose of the reason for you guys coming together? Because marriage is a covenant with God and you and your spouse. So why are you guys coming together? What is the benefits of you guys coming together? What is it that you're bringing to the table, and what is it that he's bringing to the table? Like any partnership, if you're a business owner, you know about partnership. I'm not going to partner with you if you're not bringing something to the table. I'm not going to partner with you if I'm going to have to put in more work and you're just going to sit back and not do anything. That is a partnership. So when you're thinking about your marriages, ladies, you need to think about it as a partnership. Some of you are marrying people that should have been your assignment, not your partner. Woo! Ataya, why'd you step on my toes like that? Well, because you married someone that you should have helped get to Christ, but instead you fell in love and you was all infatuated. Now you're married to this person and you're wondering, oh my God, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? Well, it's because instead of you helping this person to Christ, you helped them in your bed. Woo, Taya. Power Talk Tuesday. It's like, what are you doing? We're going into 2021, y'all. So I need to be honest with you and serious with you, because some of you are making decisions without a plan. I have independent, beautiful women out here doing it for themselves, and they get with men and they don't have a plan. They just get with him because he fine. They just get with him because he make you feel good. But when you marry him, the bills come and he can't pay a bill. He don't know how to get a job. He don't know how to take care of the children. He don't know how to step up in the areas that you need him to step up as a man in a marriage. Well, that's because you did not have a plan when you got married. So planning is nothing but thinking about the action before it takes place. So when you are planning something, for example, for me with Wife Power, every Monday is my day to sit still and plan. It's my planning day. It's my office day. It is the day that I plan my content for the week, what I'm going to talk to you guys about on Power Talk Tuesday, on Wife Power Live, what I'm going to talk about on the podcast, what I'm going to talk about doing my editings for the videos. I don't have any clients on Mondays because it is my day to plan. Because I know that if I don't plan on Mondays, the rest of my week is going to be crazy. I am going to be all out of whack. I am somebody, time will get away from me if I don't plan what I need to do. And I plan my days through the hour because I know me. So it's important for me to have a plan in order for my business to be successful. It's also important for me to have a plan in order for my marriage to be successful. Because like I told you, marriage is a partnership. It is a covenant with your spouse and God in order for God to get the glory out of you two coming together. That's what marriage is about. Marriage is not supposed to be making you happy, okay? Happiness depends on what is happening at the time. Okay, joy is what you need. You don't need some happiness, just comes and goes. 1 minute I could be happy, 1 minute I could be sad. But joy comes from God. So marriage is not meant to make you happy. It's meant to make you purposeful. It is meant to make you godlier. It is meant to prune some things off of you that a lot of you right now in marriages, you're struggling because you won't let your pride go and you won't allow some things to be pruned off of you in order for your partnership to be successful. In order for any partnership to be successful, somebody gonna have to sacrifice something. We're going to have to sacrifice some money. We're going to have to sacrifice some time. We're going to have to sacrifice something in order for our partnership to be successful. So if you don't have a plan and you just want to get married, why do you want to get married? Do you want to get married just because you feel lonely right now? Well, Jesus is all you need, baby. If you are lonely, you don't need no man. You need God. Because if you are desperate right now for a man, what happens when we are desperate? We think out of desperation. We'll go to things that are not good for us because we are desperate. You need to make sure that you have a plan. What kind of man do you want? What kind of man are you looking for? Are you looking for a man that can pay the bills, that can take care of the children, that can do all this? Are you okay if he don't know how to fight, if he don't know how to do certain things? Are you okay if he don't know how to take care of certain stuff? Are you okay with that? But you got to know what you want in order to set a plan together so it will be, so you can have what it is that you want. Let me keep going. There is a quote that says, a goal without a plan is nothing but a dream. So a goal without a plan is nothing but a dream. So you can have a goal all day long, but if you don't have a plan, it's similar to a dream, just something in your head. But when you put your plan on paper, when you put your plan down, when you write your plan, the Bible tells us to write the plan and make it plain, so that when you are ready to present it to people, they can align themselves with your plan. Investors don't want to deal with you if you don't have a business plan, if you don't know what you're going to do with their money. So some of you ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me, you need to, when you are looking for someone to be a spouse for you, what is your plan? Can you communicate your plan to this person to let them know, hey, this is what I want to do in my life. This is how I want my life to go. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So is the person that you are specifically looking to possibly be your spouse, are they going to align themselves with you? The Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? So if you and the person that you're trying to be with, if y'all not agreeing and you don't even got a ring on it right now, you're going to have a hard time when you put that ring on it and you involve yourself in a marriage. Marriage is there to to cause you to become the person that God wants you to be. It is a mirror, not a cover. Marriage will reveal everything. If you are lazy, if you cannot manage your money, if you cannot control yourself when it comes to the opposite sex, marriage will reveal it. So if you got some stuff that you don't want revealed, stay out of a marriage. Because when you get married, everything will be revealed. That's what God intended it to be. He intended for marriage to show people what was on the inside of them. Some of you, your impatience has shown. Some of you, your ability to control yourself is shown. You're mean, you're rude. You just got some serious issues. Well, it's coming out because you are in a marriage. So it's very important that before you put yourself in a marriage, that you have a plan on what is it that you want to accomplish while you're in that marriage. Okay, Jeremiah 29:11, one of my favorite scriptures. My son is named Jeremiah. That's how much I love that scripture. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Even God has a plan. Even the Lord, our Father, has plans. He says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So we are supposed to be aligning ourselves with our Father. So our God is a God. God is a God that He is not a God of confusion. Everything that God does is in decent and in order. So in order for you to be successful in anything that you do, in a marriage, in a business, anything that you do, it needs to be in order. You need to have your stuff in order. You need to make sure that you know what your goals are, how to accomplish the goals. If you do not have a plan, then your goals, like I said, it is just a dream. I can want a great marriage. I can want a successful business, but what is my plan? What am I going to do? What actions am I going to take to make sure that my plan and my marriage is successful? Like I say, many of you are getting into things without a plan. I'm going to give you 3 points. Y'all give me about 15 minutes and I'll be done with you for today. But give me 15 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 points. Number 1, a plan helps you to improve future performances. Wow. When you have a plan, it helps you to improve future performances. So some of us, our past ain't all that glamorous. I'm gonna talk about me. I know my past is not all that glamorous. I got some skeletons that have been revealed out of my closet. Let's just say that. So I know that my past is not something glamorous, but I know that my future is bright. So when I have a plan, it helps me to improve myself to make sure that I get to the higher self that I want to be. So if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a singer, a rapper, I don't care what you want to be. What is your plan to get there? What are your steps? Are you going to find the agency? Are you going to write some songs and send them to the radio station? Are you going to get your degree? What are you going to do? And when are you going to do it? Don't just tell me, Ataya, in 2021, I'm going to work on getting my degree. Well, when you going to put in the application for your FAFSA? Okay? When are you going to put in to get your student, your information so that you can get what you need? When are you going to apply to the colleges? What day are you going to start? Are you going to start January 15th? Are you going to start February 21st? When are you going to put these plans into action? Don't just tell me you're going to do something. Tell me when you're going to do it. Because everybody talks, but nobody puts no action behind their words. Everybody want to be a millionaire, but I see you laying in the bed all day long. I see you on social media not talking about nothing. I see you just walking around the house not trying to accomplish anything. How are you going to be a millionaire when you can't even get up and provide for your people? God is not going to bless you with anything if he cannot trust you to be a good steward over what you're asking him for. Many of you are praying and asking God, Lord, fix my marriage. Lord, fix my business. Okay, well, what are you doing? What are you going to do? Because God is not just going to do all the work. Y'all want God to be a genie. 3 wishes. No, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you're going to have to do something. What are you going to do in order to execute your plan? Planning establishes obstacles and selects a course of action for the benefit of what you're trying to do. So when you have a plan, you establish objectives and a course of action to benefit what you're trying to do. So when you have a plan, you have specific things that you do and specific places that you go and specific words that you speak because you know that you are trying to do something. If you say that you want to be a Christian, you're a Christian. You say that you want to be like Christ. You cannot be walking around here cussing everybody out. You can't walking around here with a bad attitude. Every time somebody trying to ask you something, you looking at them like they crazy. And then they see you on Sunday shouting and talking about my pastor, oh holy night type stuff. But you around here evil Monday through Saturday. That is not showing that you're trying to be what you're telling me that you're trying to be. This year, my pastor gave he told us this for 2021. He said, stop telling people that you're Christians and start showing people that you are Christians. Start forgiving people. Some of you have an issue with forgiveness. I'm not forgiving him. He should have never done that to me. But you say you love God. But you say you love Christ. But the same mouth that you say I love you, God, to is the same mouth that you talk about your neighbor in. You gotta have a course of action. You gotta have objectives. What is it that you are changing? What is the sacrifices you're going to do in order for you to be who you're wanting to be? In a marriage, because this point is improve future performances. So in your marriage, if you guys have hit a hard place in your marriage, some betrayal happened, somebody lost a job, something happened really bad in your marriage, and you want to work your marriage out, what is your plan? Don't just say, I want to stay. Okay, what is the plan? You hurting right now, and you angry right now. But what is your plan to get over the way you feel so that you can have a successful marriage? I've been asked all the time, I tell you, how in the world you and your husband got past some of the things that y'all got past? Because we had a plan. We sat down even though it was hurtful, even though we had to shed some tears, even though we had some words for each other, we had a plan to say we're going to make it through this. If we got to talk about everything that we feel, if we got to speak about it, if we got to keep forgiving each other, if we got to keep doing date nights, if you got to keep apologizing, whatever you got to do, whatever we got to do in order for us to get ourselves back to where not even back to where we were, but better than where we were, we needed to have a plan. If you have suffered some type of infidelity in your marriage and you want to stay in that marriage, you need to have a plan. Don't just say, I want to stay in the marriage. I want to stay with this man. You need to have a plan, because obviously he has shown you that he cannot control himself in that area. So you need to have a plan. And I don't mean a control plan. I'm going to put a radar on your truck. I'm going to watch everything that you're doing. No, that is control. What are you going to do in order to ensure that this does not happen again? Maybe you need to set a boundary. Maybe you need to tell him that if he cheats on you again, you're going to leave, and you leave if he does it again. That's important, ladies. If you tell somebody that, hey, if you do this to me, this will be the consequence, you can't, if they do it, don't execute the consequence. Well, I'll just forgive you this time. They're like children. Sometimes toxic people are like children. If you give them more chances and you don't give them no kind of consequence, they gonna keep taking the chances. You try to get them an inch, they gonna take a whole mile. Because you should have set the boundary and you should have executed the consequence to make sure that this did not happen to you again. And now you're angry, you're frustrated, you're mad at God because something has happened to you again. But what was your plan? What did you plan to do to execute that if this happened, you were going to, A, B, and C was going to be executed? Having a plan. When I was a manager at Ross, I was a store manager. And whenever my associates did not perform well, we would put them on something called a PIP, a performance improvement plan. Okay, a PIP is a design facilitated constructive discussion between a staff member and a supervisor to clarify the exact work performance requiring improvement. So a PIP, when I would do that with my associates, they would come into my office, I would have a piece of paper, and I would talk about their performance. I would talk about what they were doing wrong. I would talk about what they were doing right. And then we would set a plan on how they were going to improve their performance. And with the piece of paper, it was a document for them to sign and for me to sign to make sure to have proof that we had this conversation. How many of you in your marriages have sat down with your husband and had a performance conversation? How many of you have actually sat down with your man and say, you know what, babe, you've been doing a good job here and here, but this that you've been doing, I really didn't like that. I really didn't like the way you talked to me the other day. You're a really good man, and I really appreciate you taking care of the children and everything. But the way you just reacted that way, I just didn't like that. And if you could work on that, that would be great. That's the kind of conversations that you have. Or if your husband has done something that has hurt you, tell him, you know what, I just did not like what you did was wrong. And it made me feel some type of way. And I would appreciate if you did not do that anymore. And if you do that again, A, B, and C will happen. Point blank, period. Conversations are very important in a marriage. Communication is the breath of a marriage. If you are not having conversations in your marriage, if y'all are not talking about things in your marriage, that's why you're so surprised when stuff happens. Well, I would have never thought in my life that he would have done this to me. Well, did you talk about it? Before you got married, did you speak about your negotiables and your non-negotiables? If you don't know what that is, what will make you stay and what will make you leave? Before you get married, ladies, you need to talk to your man about your negotiables and your non-negotiables. Tell him what you will be okay with and what you would absolutely not be okay with. And if he crosses that boundary, you need to let him know what the consequence will be. Many of you did not have any kind of conversations like that before you got married. Y'all didn't talk about finances. Y'all didn't talk about children. Y'all didn't talk about nothing. Y'all was just in love. He was fine and you married him. Now life is hitting you and you're struggling because you didn't have a plan. Number 2, planning provides direction for action. A plan states in advance what you should do in the future. So if you have a plan, you have a list, steps on what you should do in the future. So if you're a business owner and you have a business plan, you know specifically what you are trying to do in order to make your business successful in the future. You have a plan so that other people, investors, like I said earlier, can see what is it that you are actually trying to do. And if they like what you're trying to do, they're going to give you some money so you can get successful in your business. I'm not going to give you any of my money if I don't trust you. A plan in your marriage, when you sit down and have conversations with your spouse about certain things, about finances, about infidelity, have those conversations, y'all. Please do not fall into the trap of that won't happen to me. That'll never happen to me. Oh, I would never go through that. Because God has a funny way of putting you through what you talk about other people going through. So be very careful when you say never. Because God has a way of putting you through situations to humble you and realize that you're no better than the next person. So have these conversations. You know what? Infidelity is a non-negotiable for me. If you cheat on me, then I'm sorry, we can't be together. Or you can also say infidelity may not be a non-negotiable. And I'm going to be some people, that's not a non-negotiable. Some people are non-negotiable, maybe putting your hands on me. I can deal with you possibly maybe sleeping with someone else, but if you put your hands on me, I'm gone. Whatever your non-negotiable is, you need to communicate it with your spouse and stop being so shocked when things happen because you never had a plan. You never executed what you would be okay with and what you wouldn't be okay with. Now your husband out there doing all kind of crazy stuff and you angry at home because you never opened up your mouth and communicated what it is that you needed. If you have a specific goal for anything that does not align with what you are trying to do, it is called a distraction. If your friends cannot understand that you may not hang out with them tonight because you got a business proposition that you need to do in the morning, or if your friends cannot understand that you can't hang out because you got some schoolwork you need to do, they are distractions and you need to cut them loose. If you're trying to be a millionaire, if you're trying to have a successful marriage and you're around people that dog their spouse, if you're around people that dog their marriage, that be doing all kind of stuff behind their spouse's back, that's a distraction. And bad spirits are like fleas. They will hop on whoever around you. The Bible says that bad company corrupts good morals. So if you are not around the right people, if you are not around people that are where you're trying to go, then it will be a distraction for you. And without a plan, it is easy for us to become distracted. You gotta have a plan in what you're trying to do. Proverbs 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. So God says that he will instruct us and teach us on the way we should go. And he will counsel us with a loving eye. So the Bible is your best guide. If you don't know what you need to do in your life, or you don't know how to put things in perspective, get into the word of God. Allow God to talk to you and speak to you through his word. There are so many great, wonderful scriptures in the Bible that if we would just get into the Bible, we would have a better understanding of what's going on in this world. This world and what's going on in this world is not surprising to God. If you look in the Bible, a lot of the stuff is going on. It was going on back in the Bible days. So it's nothing new. It's just that nowadays, the Bible says, my people perish by the lack of knowledge. We're not looking for the knowledge. We're not looking for help. We're not looking for wisdom. Some of you, I'm a marriage counselor. I'm a wife coach. I constantly post about if you're ready to change, if you're ready to get your marriage together, if you're ready to do these things. I'm constantly posting about that. And I'll be honest, I hardly get people that really actually, and I'm grateful for my clients, but we got over 4,000 people in my group. And I know there are people in there that are struggling in their marriage, but they got to take the step. I don't beg anybody. You have to have a plan. If you want a successful marriage, if you want to get over the pain, if you want to move past what you're feeling, you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're going to be stuck in the same situation that you've been in for the longest. Sometimes you need someone to come from the outside and tell you what you cannot see on the inside. As a counselor, at times, I have to tell my clients, look, this is what you're missing. This is what you're not seeing. Because when you're in love with someone, the Bible said love covers a multitude of sins. I'm not in love with you, man. So when I see some stuff that ain't right, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to also tell you what you're doing wrong. Because some of us let our prideful hearts stop us from telling the truth. Because we so busy pointing fingers at our spouse, we're not looking at ourselves, and we're so focused on what other people are doing that it's impossible for us to get it together when it comes to ourselves. So it's so important that you have a plan. And don't worry, guys, I'm coming in right now. We got cut off, but this will be on YouTube later, so you don't have to worry. But yes, having a plan is very important. If you're going to get married, if you're going to have a business, if you're going to have children, whatever it is that you want to do, make sure you have a plan to ensure that you reach the goal that you're trying to get to. Lord knows I want to be a multimillionaire. But guess what? I got to understand how to get there. How many dollars do I need to make a day in order for my business to actually make $1 million? How many products do I need to sell? How many services do I need to give? How many books do I need to write? I always have a plan on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I know that I have more businesses that I want to open. Please understand, getting my Christian counselor degree, getting all of these things that I've been doing this year, this will add up to what I am trying to do in 2021. I didn't have time to be at the club. I didn't have time to be sitting and chilling with other folks because I was busy planting seeds, because I knew that in order for my business to be successful, I had to have a plan. Number 3, and then I'm going to let you go. Planning uncovers and identifies future opportunities and threats. Wow. When you have a plan, it uncovers and identifies future opportunities and threats. If you are a business owner, you know this to be true. When you sit down and you're planning things for your business, automatically you will identify opportunities that will stop you from getting where you're trying to go. That's important. Because when I'm looking at something, when I'm looking at my plan for the week, I might say, oh, wait, on Thursday, I got something else going on, so I may not be able to do this. Or, oh, I may not have the materials that I need to ensure that my clients get what they need. Or with my dry cleaning business, I may not have, we got 2 loads that we need to do, and I look and see that I'm out of tickets. So I need to possibly make sure that I order more tickets to ensure that we don't run out of stuff. That's what a plan does. A successful business owner, a successful manager, a successful CEO, they always have a plan, and they always get prepared for any uncertainties that may happen, any difficulties that may happen in their businesses. How many of you, when you got married, now I'm talking about marriage, how many of you, when you got married, you actually had conversations about future threats, about future opportunities? You get, many of you got in a marriage and you were just like, we just here now. Woo, yay, we married. And then all this stuff hitting you guys now, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's too much pressure for you. So guess what a lot of people want to do? They want to leave. Well, oh my God, I didn't know that he couldn't manage his money. I didn't know that he didn't want to have children. I didn't know that he couldn't do this. I didn't know that she was this. I didn't know she liked to go out all the time. I didn't know that she do all that. Well, did you have a conversation about it? Did you talk about it before you put the ring on her finger? She was so fine to you, but did you actually ask her what was her plan in her life? Is she going to get out and get a job, or is she going to want you to work all the time? If she acts, because a lot of women, especially me, my dad worked all the time. My mama hardly worked. My stepmother, she did work when she wanted to, but my father was a worker. So when I grew up, I thought, okay, I'm going to stay at home. Man going to work. That didn't work out for us. And to be honest, the woman that I am, eventually I was going to get out there and want something for myself. And you see the benefit of that now, getting out and doing something for myself. So that means that if not only can my husband go out and make the money, not only can my husband go out and make something happen, I can too. So that shows a great partnership. Both of us are able to go and do something for our family to ensure that our home makes it, because both of us have the ability to do what we need to do. In a marriage, you got to make sure that you are aligned with each other in the same way. You don't have to do things together. You don't have to do things the same, but you need to be on the same road. My husband tells me sometimes, he's like, babe, we're on the same road. We're just at different speeds. You faster than me, but we on the same road. I'm right behind you, babe. And I understand that. Y'all see, I like to talk a lot. My husband is not a talker like me. So that doesn't make him a bad person. That just means that when it's time to talk, y'all gonna hear me. But don't step to me the wrong way. Because if you step to me the wrong way, guess who's right behind me, ready to get it on? Okay? So it's all about a partnership with your spouse in a marriage. When you and your spouse talk about things, you need to be able to talk about each other's weaknesses. If he cannot talk about the finances, single women, before you get with a man, talk about the finances. Do you know how to save money? Do you know how to do a checking account? Do you know how to budget? Are you wanting to become a millionaire, or do you want to stay the way you are? What is it that what are you good at? Okay, he may not be good with the finances, ladies, because there are some men, they make the money, but they don't know how they don't know how to budget. They don't know how to do those things. So you may have to be the one that takes over the finances, but y'all need to talk about that. You can't just control it. All of a sudden you see that he don't know how to spend money the right way, and now I'm going to take over the money. You don't know what you're doing. No, that's not communication. Having a conversation with your spouse and saying, hey, have you ever been taught how to balance your checkbook? Do you know what credit is? Do you know where your credit is? Well, come on, baby, let's talk about this. Because if we get our credit together, we'll be able to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Having a plan is important to ensure that you and your spouse are able to make it. Hey, honey, let's talk about infidelity. Let's talk about if you lie to me. Let's talk about if you lose your job. Let's talk about these things. Because guess what, people that if you're not married and you're planning on getting married, unemployment happens. Things happen that you cannot control. But before you guys walk down that aisle, have a conversation. Those of you that are married, before you go into 2021, sit down with your spouse this week before Friday and have a conversation and talk about a plan where you guys are going into 2021. What are your plans for each other? What are your plans for the future? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? But please make sure that you have these conversations with your spouse so that way if something happens, you're not slapped with surprise. Like, oh my God, I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know. Now he been like that. You just wasn't paying attention and you did not ask the right questions. You were so infatuated with love that you didn't ask this man, are you going to cheat on me? Have you ever cheated on your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend? Have you ever had an issue with controlling yourself? Do you watch porn? Do you do these things? You need to ask questions. And somebody who don't want to answer your questions, that's a sign. But I don't want to answer that. That's none of your business. Okay, if it's not my business, we don't need to be together. Because everything that you do will be aligned with me. And if you have a problem and you don't control that, when we get married, that problem going to be added on to me. And I ain't got time for that. You need to be asking questions. In a marriage, the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. Ladies, become approachable. Your husbands don't want to tell you nothing because you're not approachable. Every time he tell you something, you rolling your eyes, you going off on him, you telling him he crazy, you telling him he's stupid. So he don't want to talk to you. So he hides things from you. He drinks with his friends. He goes out and does other stuff. He stays away from you because you are not the type of person that he feels comfortable enough to be around to show his vulnerability. A man with his feelings, they lock that in a vault. They lock it up with a key and you can't get it out. Only Jesus can sometimes help these men with their emotions. But if you're the type of woman that your husband feels comfortable enough to come to and say, you know what, I got a problem with porn. I got a problem with drinking. I got a problem with smoking. I got a problem with these things. And you're going to say, we're going to go to God and we're going to pray about these things. We're going to work on these things. We're going to take care of these things. We're going to do what we need to do. If you're not that type of person, please don't get in a marriage. And I'm so serious because it may not be infidelity. It may be finances. It may be he got an issue with I don't know, something. Because everybody has a problem. My hair just coming loose. That's fine. Everybody has something that they are struggling with. And you need to make sure that you and your spouse have a conversation, not only about your strengths, but you need to talk about your weaknesses. Men, be open. If you got a problem, tell this woman. And don't tell her after you get married. Talk to her. Man, I got a problem. I don't know how to manage my money. I got some issues. Because y'all be hiding who y'all are. And then you get married and surprise her. Like, oh my God. Like, and we wondering what the heck happened. And you knew the whole time you had that issue. You need to be honest with yourself. 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because the adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. The reason why it's important that you have a plan is to ensure that you're able to see threats when they come your way. Opportunities when they come your way. If you and your husband if y'all have If y'all having a fight right now, if y'all arguing, if y'all marriage is really struggling right now, and you know that your husband has an issue with controlling himself with the opposite sex, you need to understand that that's a threat. That's an opportunity. So you need to get in there and y'all need to fix this marriage. Y'all need to work it out. Y'all need to make sure y'all come back together, because if not, his weaknesses will overtake him. If your spouse cannot control money and you guys about to get a lot of money, you need to understand that when you get that money, you may need to put him on a budget. Y'all may need to talk about a budget. Y'all may need to talk about where y'all going to disperse the money to. I see Congress about to issue some money. I don't know how much they about to give us, $2,000 or $600. I don't know, but how many of you have a plan on what you're going to do with the money? Y'all ready for your income tax? How many of you have a plan on what you're going to do with the income tax? Or are you just going to go front and buy you some new clothes that's just going to show off to people? Because you can take that money and do something to help you to become where you're trying to go. If you're a business owner, you could use the money to invest in your business. If you have a marriage, you can use the money to invest in something at your home, in your marriage, with your spouse. Having a plan is very, very important. And going into 2021, I don't want anyone to leave out of 2020 without a plan. What are you going to do in 2021? What lessons have you learned in 2020 that is going to help you in 2021? Don't go into 2021 blind. This year, if anything, this year should have taught you guys that multiple streams of income is important, because the whole economy was shut down this year. People lost their jobs. So that should tell you right there that a job is not a security. So you can lose your job. So what other sources of income are you trying to come up with to ensure that if you lose one job, you still pumping? Are you saving money? Do you have a plan to put a 6-month saving plan together? Because as you can tell this year, that people needed their emergency funds. These are important. Don't let 2020 pass and you did not do what you needed to do to have a plan to be successful. God showed so many things this year. And if in 2021 I see anybody complaining and saying that I don't know how I'm going to do this, I'm going to look at you. What did you do in 2020 when you was at home, when everything was shut down? What were you building? What were you doing? Did you get some rest? Did you come up with a plan on how you're going to execute for the next 5 years? What did you do to ensure that 2021 would be a successful year? And don't start with just 2021. My plans for my life is not only for me, they for my grandchildren. I want to be successful and have wealth so my great-grandchildren will be rich. That's the type of plans I have. Not just for myself, for my husband, for my children, for my grandchildren, for the generations to come before me. Why do I need to heal myself? Why do I need to not become bitter? Why do I need to learn how to stop being a people pleaser and all these things? Because not for me, for my daughter, for my granddaughter, my grandson, my great-grandson. I don't want the generations under me to be like the generations before me. There's so many bitter, angry women in my family, and I don't want to be like that. And I surely don't want my daughter to be like that, and I don't want my granddaughter to be like that. I don't want my son to think it's okay to just womanize women. I don't want my son to think that he just need to pop it and go. I don't want my son to think those things. So I teach my son, and we show them that this is how you treat a woman. This is how one woman is better than a bunch of women. One good woman is better than a bunch of no good women. This is how I teach my son. You ain't gotta be taking care of all of Houston, Texas, United States. You don't need to be servicing the whole United States just because you look good. If anything, you need to be a prize to a woman. Just like I teach my daughter, you need to be a prize to a man. giving yourself all everywhere to anybody. All you're going to do is put children in places, just messing up stuff. See, these are the things that I'm teaching my kids. So that way the generations ahead of me will not be like the generations before me. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my grandchildren. So you should not want those things either. So have a plan. How are you going to stop the abuse in your family? How are you going to stop the addiction in your family? How are you going to stop the poverty in your family? How are you going to stop the bitterness in your family? What are your goals? What are your steps? And number one thing everyone needs that's watching me going into 2021, you need the Lord. You need God. If you do not have God, you're going to be in trouble. Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Proverbs 15:22, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they are successful. You can't do it by yourself. Wives, you can't do it by yourself. You need friends. You need counsel. You need advisors. You need help in order to do it. And God will send you people to help you. Don't isolate yourself. Don't sit over there by yourself just crying in a corner. Get up and may have a plan on how you are not going to be hurting anymore. Have a plan and execute the plan. I am always available for counseling. I'm always available for coaching. My clients will tell you, I keep it real. Why? Because I've been where you have been. I will celebrate 17 years of marriage June 1st. It's been a long road. It's been a blessed road. It's been a difficult road. But with lack of counsel, it would have never succeeded. I thank God for my leaders. I thank God for my advisors. I thank God for the people that talk to me and tell me, Ataya, you doing good, or Ataya, you don't need to be doing that. I thank God for my friend. So surround yourself with people that can help you to execute your plan. That's all I have for you guys. The power of planning. Please make sure that when you go into 2021, that you have a plan on doing what it is that you want to do. I will see you guys on Thursday because it will be that's New Year's Eve. So y'all join me. I'm going to have my milk and cookies. But you guys join me New Year's Eve. It's at 7 o'clock. I'll be going live. I want to pray with you. I want to, we're going to be doing unfinished business is the title of Thursday's message. So I want to talk to you guys about leaving things in 2021, not bringing any kind of unfinished business into 2021. So I want you guys to join me New Year's Eve, 7 o'clock. If you're not doing anything, if you're partying, have fun, be safe. Corona's still out there. But if you're not doing anything and you're at the house, please make sure join me at Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm Central Time. So make sure you look at wherever you are, you look and see what time I'll be on. But for me, 7 p.m. Central Time. If you're looking for counseling, you guys, I spoke about that today. Have a plan. Don't try to do this on your own. You've probably been doing this on your own for 15, 10, 5 years, and you haven't been getting any results. So you need to have a plan. And the Bible specifically says the lack of counsel, it will fail. So you need a counselor. You need someone to help you. If that person could be me, make sure that you hit me in the inbox so that I can send you guys the information so that you can schedule a free call with me and we can talk about how we can execute a plan for you in 2021 to better your marriage. So I thank you guys for always the support that I get. Thank you so much for every post, every share, everything that you guys do for Wife Power. I appreciate it. And you know, we got to end it with our prayer. So Heavenly Father, I come right now just thanking you for this opportunity. God, I thank you for just being able to speak to your people, Lord. As we go into 2021, God, I just want to be real and say 2020 was a year for all of us, Lord. But you got our attention. And those that you did not get their attention, God, I ask that you get their attention before you go into 2021. I don't want anybody to take any drama, any pain, any animosity, any bitterness, anything from 2020 into 2021, God. Help your people to establish a plan, Lord. Help them to establish the ability to be able to do the things that you have called them to do, God. Let them know that fear does not come from you. Let them know that you are not a God of confusion. Everything that you do is in decent and in order, God. So I ask right now that you help your people to be able to get in order. You said for us to get our houses in order, Lord. So before 2021, Lord, I ask that everybody's watching me, everybody that hears my voice, that you help them set their houses in order, Lord. That you give them the ability to do what it is that they need to do to be ready for the blessings that you have for us in 2021. God, I thank you for just the opportunity for me to be able to speak to your people. I ask that you strengthen me, Lord. I ask that you continue to work through me, Lord. I thank you so much for this opportunity, the gifts and the business and the ministry that you have given me. God, in Jesus' name, we ask all things. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on Thursday. If you did not see this whole video, don't worry. I will edit it and put it on YouTube so you guys can watch it. It'll be on YouTube later on this evening, so you can watch the video. And if you're watching this, there was a 2-part because we did get cut off, but on YouTube I'll put them both together. But if you're watching this video, go look at the first video so you can get the whole message on the power of a plan. Love you guys with the love of God. If you need me, you know how to find me. I'll see you guys on Thursday for Wife Power Live. If you have not heard my podcast, the podcast is up. There's already episodes that people have already told me that they were blessed already with the things that I've posted. So go to Spotify, look for the Wife Power Podcast, and we are on Spotify. Thank you guys. Have a blessed rest of your week, and I'll see you on Thursday.